Chris.
Well, listen, Mark, listen, hold on. When I say, would you have caffeine today?
What the hell is that up to out of this thing?
How much coffee did you drink before the show?
Listen, you can't polish a sneaker, right? throw tomatoes at me, do whatever you're going to do.
It's Corso and Catone.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. I'm Chris Corso. Sitting over there is Mark Catone. Joe Guarnieri will be jumping in. And this show is presented by the Pats Nation, the only Patriots post-game show worth watching. Join Mark and I 30 minutes following every Patriots game for all your post-game coverage. Listen, Mark, you can see us on YouTube. Just log in, type in Corso and Catone, and give us that thumbs up and subscribe. You can see all Mark's funny faces that he makes and everything. But if you just want to listen to us, you can do that too on iTunes Radio. You can do it on the iHeart Radio app, and Podbean. So make sure you log in, Corso and Catone. All of our shows are up for you to listen to. Check us out on Twitter at Corso_Catone. And our heated hotline, Mark, 855-313-PATS. You know the drill. Go ahead and call 24/7. Leave us a message. Joe's going to pick the one he likes the best for Mark and I to discuss, and that one could be yours. So 855-313-7287. Mark, packed show today. We got our heated hotline, of course, our weekly rewind. You're not going to want to miss that today. And, of course, Catone's comments. I'm sure it's going to be a real nice holiday doozy for us today. So, and look, our first ever Patriots pregame show. Pats kick off in about a little over an hour from now, Mark. So we're going to be handling all pregame coverage, talking to you about inactives, injuries, some of the things they're going to need to do to win this game tonight. So that's coming up. But Mark, feeling good? Look, I'm excited. Look at me. I'm all amped up and everything.
Listen, I'm ready.
This is what we're like before games. You know?
But you're going to have to go in a phone booth like Superman and change, because I know you don't wear that shirt during the game.
No, listen, I don't think Joe people haven't seen us in a pregame show. So nobody really knows what we look like and act like the day of a game, right?
No, but we're going to have to go change it. We're going to have, please.
Happen.
So that kickoff is a little over an hour from now. So, Joe, Mark, heated hotline.
Let's get into
heated hotline. Let's do some of that there.
Hotline.
Hey, this is Rick from Johnston. Yeah, I just want to give you guys a call because it pisses me off that Josh Curry is celebrating so much about three-pointers. Anybody shoots three-pointers. Why the hell is he any different than anyone else? I don't understand. This is ridiculous. They stopped the game for this. He shoots a million three-pointers. Some of them to break this record, too. It's BS, guys. It's BS. Love the show.
Love it.
Okay, Mark.
Love it.
I like it. I like it too. So, Mark, listen, this is one of the things, okay? And, Joe, I didn't catch his name. What was his name?
Rick from Johnston.
Rick from Johnston. Okay.
Rhode Island.
Johnston, Rhode Island. You're the next door neighbor there, Mark. Must be, huh?
Wow.
So, Rick, thank you for the call. Happy holidays. Listen, Mark, this was something I was going to bring up, and I know you and I talked about this during the week, but what do you about what Rick says? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, listen, Chris, we talked about this. We did. And basically, it was his branding, right? It's Curry, it's branding, it's what these guys live for, right? So and don't get me wrong, I don't think he's as bad at all as guys like LeBron James and Kevin Durant. You really want to see me go off. I think Kevin Durant's a goddamn scumbag, but that's a whole nother issue. He's a jerk too. But
keep it clean, Mark. It's the holidays.
I'm being nice, but no, Curry, Chris, come on. They stopped the game when the nature of the game now is you're taking 33 points a game because nobody plays defense. You run up and down the court and just chuck the ball up. I mean, yeah, is he the greatest shooter to ever play the game? Probably, yes, but the record, I think, is a little tainted just because the league is so different than it was when guys like Ray Allen and Reggie Miller played. Reggie Miller, I mean, my God, the defense that those guys played in those days, they'd throw you to the ground. Yeah. Now, nobody plays defense anymore. It's like a lost art.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like it either. I had a real problem with it. Again, I agree with you. Curry's the best pure shooter I've ever seen. You saw it on display again last night.
Yeah, no, he absolutely is. He is.
And all that. But yeah, to stop the game, the tears, the hugs, all the
on.
stuff on the
Come
court,
on. Come on.
for a shooting record, it's overkill to me. And I question the genuineness of it. It seems disingenuous to me. And the reason it does is because the next night, the following night, I'm watching and I see on ESPN, there's a commercial out right away. A commercial talking about his journey and, promoting some kind of brand, something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that commercial was made. They didn't make that day. I mean, what I'm saying?
Of course not.
So in other words, all that nonsense that's done at the Garden over there is a lead up to these types of branding and to listen, I'm fine. This is the day and age we're in. You want to make money. I get it. But the point is, like Mark says, the purity of the game.
But the league shouldn't have sponsored something like that. He wants to do that. That's fine. Right. It's his branding, whatever. But the league shouldn't have fed into. I agree with you, Chris. The league fed into that, right? And they absolutely shouldn't have.
Do you know? Okay, and I saw this stat, and I kind of for a second. And by the way, did you hear the little subtle? Did you hear Ray Allen? Did you? So he broke Ray Allen's record, right?
Yep.
And Ray Allen was in Madison Square Garden when it happened. So wasn't Reggie Miller, so they can give him the hugs and all that crap that they do. Yeah. And Ray Allen says, "This is my favorite. This is my favorite arena to play in. This is my favorite arena." And I'm like, okay, that way you won your championship?
Listen, that's why Kevin Garnett basically still doesn't talk to him. I think they broke the ice a little bit, but Kevin Garnett will never accept Ray Allen as being part of one of those. He just
Garnett, a true Celtic.
True Celtic. He burnt that bridge.
But back to Curry. Do you know? Did you see this stat? Okay, Ray Allen, and I'm pretty sure this is right because I heard it and I think it's right. Ray Allen took 15 or more 3-pointers in a game, like 5 times total.
Yep.
In his career.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry has done it 5 times this year.
Oh, I believe it, Chris. Oh, I believe it, Chris, because like I said at the beginning, Chris, my opening comment was the game is changed.
By sheer percentages.
It's a different, you're going to break a record. It's a different game. Chris, just like the passing records, right? Listen, don't get me wrong. Brady and Manning, 2 of the greatest quarterbacks that'll ever walk the face of the earth. But they changed the rules, Chris. The rules are different now, right? In 2002 and 2003, when Lawyer Malloy could put his hands on you and check you off the line and grab at you, it was a little different because now, hey, guys weren't running free on down the field, so you could just chuck the ball up and they could go catch it. Guys were allowed to play defense, and guess what? You were allowed to hit the goddamn quarterback.
That's right, and Peyton Manning was so pissed off about it, they changed the rule back then.
They changed the rules for him because they couldn't beat the Patriots.
They couldn't get enough scoring on the board. So so with this kind of situation, by sheer percentages, more are going to go in. So when they say that's a record that may never be broken, this record will be broken.
The way the league is set up now, Chris, that'll be broken. Yes, just because everybody, like you said, Chris, everybody's chucking up 23s a game. Eventually, somebody will get hot and break it over the course of 5 or 6 years.
Mark, we were in the stadium when Brady broke the record. One of the records. We were there for the Tampa game earlier this season. They didn't stop the game. They just announced it in the middle of the
They gave him
boom,
a quick
boom,
applause. They didn't stop the game.
That's it.
Speaking of Brady, Chris, you want to talk about branding. Now he's coming out with a line of clothing, football line of clothing.
Hey.
He signed like Deion Sanders' kid. He signed the kid from Michigan. He signed a couple other guys. Now all of a sudden he wants to be like Michael Jordan's brand. He wants to be the Brady brand, right? For football.
Those two guys, he and Gronk, those 2 guys are like kids in a candy store when they got to Tampa.
Oh my God, Chris.
Forget it. And by the way, and I know we're going off track. By the way, everybody else is coming on board to where you and I have been saying that dude, Aaron's a cartoon character down there. You know what I mean? So listen, anyway. Chris,
yeah, and if you watched has been watching this man in the arena, the amount of respect that Brady has for those guys he played with in the Patriots and the coaching and I think it really comes out in this man in the arena and so anybody that stupid flagship bullshit that's Brady hates them, that's bullshit. You watch this, and I guess this will basically should have been a rewind, but I'm going to say it anyways, Chris. That's bullshit what those guys say. He is really, you can see his affection for those guys. That when he talks about that 2007 season, Chris, like you can feel the emotion coming out of him. It's how many years later? 14 years later?
Right. Yeah. So again, I mean, this record, to go back to Curry, it's great. He is the best shooter, but to stop the game like that, and he did it again.
That was a mistake by the NBA, Chris.
Yeah, and again, it's like you might as well just wear it. Say, we're trying to promote something.
But
right
Chris,
now.
That's typical NBA. They cowtail to all these guys,
It is.
right? This is typical NBA. They can say what they want about Roger Goodell, and we're certainly not fans of Roger Goodell. But the NFL is a totally, totally different league compared to the NBA.
Yeah. So again, and last night,
all those stunts though. The NFL does. They're a $1 billion company. They don't have to pull the stunts and bring watchers in.
No, they don't. They don't. You're right. You're right, Joe.
No,
that's what we have to watch out is what baseball is going to do next.
So
baseball it's going to have to do something.
And Curry was in town last night. So look, we'll and we're going to get to that with the Celtics next. But Heated Hotline was presented by who we presented by, Joe? Jag Media Production. So, Mark, it's a good time to get into Weekly Rewind. Want to do that?
Let's do it.
All right, Joe. Weekly Rewind. Here we go. Going back through the week. About a weekly rewind.
That's one of my favorite washes, Chris. I'm going to tell you right now, I like it.
Yeah, that is good. So, Mark, listen, a lot of things have happened this week. I mean, a lot of things. You know. So, I mean, I know because Mark has been chomping at the bit for 2 weeks to talk about the Celtics. So go off, Mark. Here we go.
Chris, if anybody watched that road trip that they went on out west, it was embarrassing. I mean, Tatum didn't play bad. Tatum played well. He got his points, right? Typical Tatum, got his points. But did they win? Did he make anybody around him better? No, he scored his 32 points. He took care of his brand. But does he take anybody around him and lift them up and make them better and lead them to a win in a big game against the Lakers, against the Suns, against whoever? He don't do that, Chris. He gets his points, but he can't pick anybody else up around him and make them better and make the team better. I get Brown was out, and Brown's a whole other story, Chris. I mean, we've talked about Brown, Tatum, but
well, I mean, Brown, he was in last night.
Yeah, he was, but Brown's almost like he doesn't want to play. He's got a fingernail. Oh, he's out 4 games, tore his fingernail. I'm starting to get a little sick of Brown, too. Every time you turn around, he's out. Really? Come on, toughen the goddamn up and play the game.
I've been watching the Celtics for the last week. I do feel like things are getting better. So I disagree a little bit on this. I mean, I see Tatum
against who? Who do they beat?
I'm just saying in the way they're playing a little bit. Here's just what I'm saying. Okay, I'm watching some of the basketball that's going on. Some of the and I know you were down on Udoka. Udoka. They're not buying in to what he's selling. But one thing he has brought to the table and is for example, they're playing Golden State now. Golden
State's down 2 starters, by the way. Just for the record, Chris.
I understand, but they've been down those same 2 starters all season.
No, I understand that. But so I want to see when they're going to go out to Golden State.
Clay, they had 4 wins in a row against that team. Clay Thompson's been all year.
So when Thompson and Weissman are back, we didn't play out west. We didn't play Golden State out west, did we?
No, but I'm just saying, those guys have been out from the beginning of the season.
No, but I'm just saying they'll get beat by 30 when they go out west.
I mean, okay, they beat them when last game they played. They beat them the last 4. But all I'm saying is this: I love the pick and rolls. I love what they're doing with Marcus Smart right now. We've been down on that guy and me no more than me. I've been on the worst for Marcus Smart. Couldn't stand him. But now I'm watching the way they got him playing. Okay, and for example, the pick and roll for Tatum, loving it, love it. Didn't see it with Brad Stevens. They're doubling off Smart to get to Tatum, and what's happening is he's setting up the pick and roll. They're getting the ball to Tatum. If the double happens, Smart's getting the ball with either the shot or to hit the open man, and he's doing a great job. His assists are way up. Marcus Smart is passing that ball. His assists are up. He's making people better on the court. Grant Williams is playing really, really well, Mark, and I know you had a problem with him too, but he's playing really well too. So I like some of the things I'm seeing with this team. I do. I like some of the things. I'm with you. The hero ball happens.
Chris, they have one of the worst
benches. It just goes back
benches.
to hero.
Chris, they have one.
That's the problem.
This isn't on the players. This is on Stevens, Ainge, whoever you want to call out. They have one of the worst benches in the NBA. Worst bench in the NBA.
No, they do.
Other than one guy. One guy
They
comes
do.
off the bench and can score some points. Everybody else.
I mean,
it's
Schroeder and
like,
Grant Williams are playing well this
but
season.
Grant Williams has been
Otherwise,
starting, Chris.
he has, but there have been
Lately.
times that he's I mean, but when Jaylen Brown's in the lineup,
Schroeder, yeah. So, but
Schroeder's
Chris,
playing good.
Schroeder's good, but my God, the bench is like you
But
want
if
to talk about. Oh,
yeah, Mark. But if you look at this team, and I've been wanting to ask you this, if you look at now, don't scream at me, okay? The way the Golden State Warriors are constructed right now, okay?
mhm.
When you look at who's the best player on the Golden State team?
Curry.
Who? Okay, so when the Celtics are playing Golden State on the
Yeah.
court, who's the
Yeah.
best player on the court?
Curry.
Then who's the next best player on the court? Both teams, for either team.
Probably
Tatum, right?
Tatum or Brown.
Has to be
Yeah,
Tatum. Next
or
is
Brown.
probably who?
Tatum.
Then
If
Brown.
he's Brown.
But you know, so Curry, Tatum. I know you're not wanting to say this, but Curry, the best players on that court are Tatum, Curry, Tatum, Brown. You can argue, looking at Golden State's lineup at the moment, you can argue the most talented player next may be Robert Williams, perhaps, over.
Okay, no, I don't agree with that. No, Draymond Green, Chris, does so many things. Draymond Green rebounds. He plays defense. He gets assists. He goes to the floor. He'll bite you in the ankles for a loose ball. Like there's nobody on the floor that does what he does. So he's better than anybody else. The Celtics.
All right.
And when Klay Thompson's on the floor, he's better than anybody else after Brown and Tatum. But he will be in 2 weeks.
But listen. So Curry, Tatum, Brown.
Hey, they got a bench, Chris. Wiggins, they got Wiggins.
What I'm saying,
they bring 3 guys off the bench the Celtics don't have.
What I'm saying is this: talent-wise, top talent
Talent-wise, 4 through 10, Chris. Golden State's 1,000 times better than the Celtics. 4 through 10, there's no comparison in the rosters. That's why the Celtics can't win.
But Mark, when you compare these two teams up at the top, the talent level is not that much different. The problem that you have is the system and is the buy-in. The reason why the Golden, because you look at the Golden State Warriors, Mark, listen to me.
Chris, it's the bench.
What did he have? You had caffeine today again, didn't you?
Chris,
I told you, do not have caffeine when you come on this show.
Chris, in this current NBA, you can't win without a bench.
All I'm saying to you is
that's why LeBron is struggling right now.
The Celtics could be better than they are. They should be better than they are. They got enough talent to be better than they are. And the problem is they're not buying in. There's too much hero ball. The culture there isn't good enough. In Golden State's culture is better.
Christian, their culture's better. It's culture. You're right. But you know what else?
And that's why Golden State doesn't have the best roster in basketball.
No,
so why are they winning?
Because they got this. They got this.
Right.
They got a heart.
That's what I'm saying. They buy in.
Tatum don't have a heartbeat, and neither does Brown. I'm sick of listening to people defend Tatum and Brown. They got as much talent as anybody, but they don't got this. That's why they're not winning. They don't got it.
Okay, well there you go. But that has an ultimate.
I don't want to hear about their talent.
It's got to do
no heart.
Then they don't have leadership either, right?
Come on.
They don't have leadership then in coaching, management, or at their top play. I agree with you, Mark, on Tatum. He's not showing he's not the guy that can lead anybody.
Oh, they got talent. They don't win. At some point, the talent don't matter. They don't win.
Well,
you can blame coaching. They don't win because they don't have any heart.
Joe,
what do we always say about the Patriots, Chris? They got the heart of a champion. They always had the heart of a champion.
I hope somebody there has the paddles, Joe.
Come on.
You know?
The Celtics don't have that, Chris.
Shock
we can
him
say
back
what we want about
coherency.
LeBron James. We hate LeBron. I hate LeBron James. He's got the heart of a champion. You're going to rip his heart out to beat him. Because he'll fight you tooth and nail. And he makes everybody around him better because he's got the heart of a champion. Tiger Woods is out there golfing. He busted 5 legs, arms. He's got the heart of a champion. He's out there golfing yesterday with his son. And I'm not using him as
Did you see how happy he was?
Model. But Chris, he's got the heart of a champion. You got to kill him to get him off that golf course.
His son stands just like him. His son looks just like him when he's standing there.
Did you see the son golf, Chris?
He looks like him. He has the same mannerisms. He has the same stance. Yeah, and you could see Tiger Woods was so proud looking at him. Just all he cared about was playing with his son yesterday. That was fantastic.
That kid, Chris, is going to be a superstar golfer.
So, okay, they have no heart. They're done. They can't do anything. That's
I'm
it.
sick of that bullshit.
Mark, listen, you're spending all the time on rewind on the Celtics. Anything else happened this week?
Well, with the Bruins, the goalies. How about the Bruins goalies?
Yeah, all I could say about the Bruins, because now Mark went on a tirade now. So all I can tell you about
you want to talk about talent again.
Speed dial.
Uh-huh.
Dr. T on speed dial.
I know. Get him on. Get him on. So, no, listen, Mark, all I'll say about the Bruins is they're getting good goaltender play now, which is why I don't know what the hell you're bringing Rask into the mix for. Why are you going to do that? Okay, Omar and Swayman are playing good. They're at a 95% save percentage, and that's saying something because this friggin' team sucks out in front of the net. Those two goalies are standing on their head right now. They got no scoring. Yeah. COVID's hitting that team too. Marchand's out probably going to be out for like 4 to 6 games. Yeah. They have no scoring. The only thing they have is the goalie right now, and they're going to screw that up. Sweeney's going to screw that up, and he's going to bring Rask in now. So, stay tuned on the Bruins.
They have no reason to bring Rask in, Chris. That's a huge mistake if they do that.
It is. I like the way these two goalies are playing, and I think they should leave it alone. But they got to do something out in front of them, So, that's our Bruins update. But how about Myers getting fired? How about Urban Meyer getting fired?
You want to talk about a bum, Chris?
We knew he sucked from the moment one. We wondered what the hell they were doing bringing him in to begin with. The guy that got to be the happiest. The guy that has to be the happiest over that has got to be Lawrence.
Oh, well, did you hear his comments? Lawrence just keeps dropping comments every day.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, obviously he thought he was he was terrible as a coach. But Chris, does that open up the door for Josh McDaniels?
That's why I brought it up because it would be a perfect setting for him, wouldn't it?
And it would. You got a franchise quarterback that's young.
Yeah, everybody
says you're gonna have another top 5 pick.
And you don't need a quarterback.
You don't need a quarterback, so you got a shot to do something, right? And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jacksonville is loaded with draft picks.
Yes, and they're going to have a top 5 pick again. And so, he's walking into a ready-made team as far as a quarterback. You got the quarterback, you got a lot. So, stay tuned. If this kid's as good as everyone says he's going to be, then you're right. You got a lot because you got a franchise quarterback. All right, Mark. Well, listen, make sure you keep this energy up because coming up next, you know what we have. Weekly Rewind was presented by Special Sauce Podcast, Startup Finance, and Drive Yourself to Success. SpecialSaucePodcast.com. On the other side, Catone's Comments is next.
The Special Sauce Podcast. You liking the sauce? The sauce is good. Startup, finance, train them, trust them, and let them lead. With your host, Marcus Aurelius. Tune in to Special Sauce Podcast, wherever you podcast. What's your special sauce? Time for Catone's Comments!
Everybody knows that I have issues driving. I have issues going to markets, stores, anywhere. I need to stay in the house. However, today and yesterday, it's the holidays. I had to go out and do a few things. Today, I was in one of those big box store markets.
Oh, okay. Again.
Yeah, well, you got to. It's the time of the year it is, Chris. So I go.
Not for me.
Right? So I go. I'm going. First of all, you go. Nobody can drive. You got these people in these big SUVs, these Range Rovers. They don't fit in the spot. They keep trying to get in the spot. They're backing in, out. Go park where there's no cars. You're sitting there holding up traffic because you can't get in between the goddamn space. Then they got the water bottle. They're squirting water in their mouth while they're trying to drive. You're going to kill 5 people because the truck's too big for you. Go get one of those little utility vehicles, the little ones. They want to drive these big trucks. They're too big for them. They can't even drive them. And then they go back and forth and back and forth. What is it? Goddamn. It's like a ride. It's like an amusement park ride like they're in Disney World. In the goddamn truck. Then you get in these places. You're going around the place. Everybody's banging into each other with carriages. Guy whacked me in the back with his carriage. I had whiplash. I was gonna call Corso. I was gonna call up Corso Law.
For those of you who don't know, a carriage is a shopping cart. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's a Rhode Island thing? Shopping cart, carriage. It's a Rhode Island thing. Anyway, so now I'm going down an aisle with the shopping cart. I'm going down the aisle. Some woman, older, comes barreling down, almost takes me out. I said, what is this? She said, oh, it's touch and go in here today. I said, what did you just say? Oh, it's touch and go in here today. I said, touch and go. I said, no, honey. You know what touch and go is? When you're on the ground, grasping for air, and you can't breathe, and they're going to come with the paddle, and they're going to paddle you up, and you'll get bounced off the ground. That's touch and go. They don't know if you're going to make it. I said, not the carriage. I said, when you're on the ground. And she looked at me and said, oh. And she walked. I said, that's it. Go. Chris, I never seen anything like it. Ever. I came home.
Well,
Holiday season.
and whoop-de-doo. Mark, where were you when that lady came up to me in the gas station, parking lot? I needed you out in front of me, to take care of that situation.
I would have bought you a Snickers bar today, Chris. I didn't think of it. I would have shipped it to you. I would have shipped it out to Arizona, the Snickers bar, Joe.
Mark, why, like, Joe, I don't even know what to say.
Put him out to hire. Catone's comments. He'd be a standby commenter on any moment, anybody's situation.
Right. So suffice it to say, Mark, you're not one of the guys standing out in front of the store with the bell, ringing the bell with the bucket there for people to throw money in, right? You're not that guy. Is that where we are right now with the people out there? You're not doing that volunteer kind of work. You're in and out.
No. I'm in and out. No. I want to reach in my pocket and throw the change. Just throw it. Say, yeah.
Joe, I'll never understand.
Those poor people, I want to give them like $500 and say, listen, don't stand out here. Here's $500. Go. How much you going to make? People throwing pennies and quarters in. I'll give you $500. You can go home. Just let them relax.
So we're to the point where Mark is going to pay people to stop talking to him. Is really what we're talking about. This is the situation we're in. But we want, but of course, call the show, talk to Mark. But no, listen, Mark. Where's your holiday compassion for that lady that you practically threw on the ground?
She whacked me with the almost.
Was she going for like a Cabbage Patch Kid or something? Was she trying to get to like fight for something?
Cabbage Patch Kid. Joe, where's he? He's in a time warp. Joe,
yeah. Remember they used to fight with each other? They kill each other for those things.
I know they did.
I found them.
Of course you did.
Cabbage Patch. And remember Pound Puppies? I don't know if you guys remember. Those are like the 3 that were like that and like strawberry shortcake. Stupid ones.
Mark, why isn't he working on the show? He's looking for Cabbage Patch Kids.
I know. I randomly found it. You know where I found it? At a Cracker Barrel. Is that the name of it? Cracker Barrel?
So if you get one of those original ones, they're worth money. Those Cabbage Patch dolls. If you got one with the actual real box that it came in and all that stuff, they're worth a lot of money.
Mark, you know what you need? You ever see those commercials with the guy that's trying to prevent the people from becoming their parents? Okay. In the store saying, no, you don't know him. You don't need to talk to him. You know what I mean? Like, that's you. You need that dude walking around with you everywhere you go. But instead of it being like not preventing you from being your parents, just not preventing you from committing a felony. Okay. And some sort of assault and battery, which I know is what you have there.
I don't assault anybody. The lady said, "Oh, it's touch and go in here." I said, "Touch and go? What? Touch and go?"
Listen, everyone out there, Mark is just he's a representative of the people. He's trying to rid this earth of people that just get in the way of any type of progress. Am I right, Mark? Isn't that a good way to put what you're trying to do?
That's a good way to put it. That's
with
why
your driving school
to represent me.
Yeah. Somebody's got to be a voice for you.
From this show and start to question what the real deal New England feel is.
This is it. This is it. Listen, people.
Listen, why? You don't think people would come to my driving school, wouldn't they, Joe?
Oh, sure, to get screamed at. Look, because if you could survive him screaming at you from the right side of the car, then you can pass any test on the planet.
Listen, I don't take my daughter out driving. My wife's going to do it. I can't take her. My son,
you said it was you who taught her.
No, not her. No.
So you could teach everybody else, though.
Yeah.
Is that
no? Yeah, no. My son was good. He drives. He's a good driver. My son. He knows what to do. The rules of the road. Yeah, he says it.
Okay. Well, listen, everybody, just so you understand, Joe's 100% right in the real deal New England feel. I swear to God, I'm not lying to you. This is Mark. This is Mark off the air, on the air, minus a few little colorful metaphors. Okay?
Yeah,
So,
well, I got to clean it up for the show. I got to clean it up.
So Catone's comments was presented by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm, Corso&Catone.YouTube. Allow us to be your voice. Coming up, Mark, our first Patriots pregame show, taking on the Colts. My God, are we excited. You see Mark. Let's hope he can maintain that, or maybe calm down just a little bit so we don't have to get the paddles out. All that's on the other side right after this.
It's that time again for a timeout for a message from one of our sponsors. No one ever thinks they will be in the need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people all across this great country who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. So whether it's a traffic ticket or if you need reduced DUI or more serious issues, call or go online to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help you. Corso Law Group.
Back in with more Corso and Catone. Mark, we ready to go? We got a game coming up in about we got about a half an hour to kick off when they kick off against the Colts at Indianapolis. So, Mark, let's talk about this. I mean, no Damian Harrison tonight. He's been ruled out with that hamstring injury.
You knew he wasn't playing, Chris. We knew that.
What kind of effect is that going to have tonight? The inactives, I have not. We've been online, so I haven't heard the inactives yet, but I know they're out.
We know he's out. Yeah,
we know some of the guys that it's going to be. I mean,
I'm still waiting, Chris. Is Phillips a game time decision or is he active? We're not sure.
I haven't heard the inactives yet. I know they're already out, so make sure you tune in. You log on, check
Chris,
it out. But
here's what I think.
I think Phillips is going to play. He was set to play all week, so I think he's going to play. They need him to play.
Here's what I think, Chris.
So
I believe Stevenson is going to have a huge night tonight. I think it's just coming out. I shouldn't say it's just coming out party. I think everybody knows who he is by now. But tonight's the night he's going to say, I'm actually your number one back, guys. And he's going to put up a big number. He's going to put up a big number. He's going to barrel over guys. And I'll tell you what, Chris, they're going to unleash their secret weapon tonight. Mac Jones it's going to be his coming out party on national television because everybody, especially after the other night against Buffalo, we threw 3 passes. But tonight he's going to spread this team around. He's going to spread it out because I honestly think, Chris, we can keep them off balance because I think Stevenson's going to have a huge night and it's going to open up the passing game. I really do.
Well,
especially indoors, Chris. Perfect weather conditions.
I mean, he should. Look, they're not that great against the run. I mean, I get it. You got DeForest Buckner, you got Stewart, Franklin, and then that lines up the
Leonard is good. Leonard's all over the field.
But Mark,
he's had him in the past.
They're average against the run. They're 16th. They're allowing an average of 112 yards or something a game. 25th with a yards per carry in 4.5. So you got to give the edge to New England.
Tampa ran the ball well against them.
Yeah, I mean, I would think Stevenson would have a big day. Bolden, Bolden's going to have to chip in. JJ Taylor is not going to play.
I know you think he's going to be inactive?
I believe he is inactive, and I think it's due to
COVID.
I think he's still in the COVID protocol, so he's not going to play tonight either. So they're not going to have
be in the COVID protocol, Chris, for 2 goddamn weeks. Then he must have been positive. Maybe he wasn't.
He probably wasn't vaccinated.
He probably wasn't vaccinated. That's the issue. Yeah.
Which in this situation with that job, and we're not going to get into COVID, but it's a little irresponsible given what you do and what your employer wants you to do at this point. So given what we and so again, they're not going to. They're going to miss those 2. So Stevenson's going to be carrying the load. So maybe
Chris,
you're right.
Who else can run the ball?
They got a guy They got a guy in the practice squad that I believe is going to try to come up but it's going to be Stevenson and Bolden. It's going to be those 2 tonight. in my opinion. And I think you're going to see some things happening in the backfield. I think you're going to see Jonnu Smith back into the backfield again, leading along with along with the fullback, who I believe will play tonight too. And so that you may see that, but I'm still not comfortable with them running to the left side.
No, I agree 100%. Left side, Chris, is bad. That's a bad.
So the offensive line is going to have a big game today. They're going to have a good game, because as much as they can run the ball and they as good as they are at it, they're going to have to throw the ball a little tonight.
Chris,
I
let
think,
me ask you a
because
question.
the Colts are probably going to be. I would imagine the Colts' game plan is, we're not going to let this team run for 200 yards.
I was going to say, Chris, do you
it.
think the Colts stack the box and say throw the ball and beat us?
Yes. Yeah, I do. I listen. I think every coach in the league, and Frank Reich, I've been hearing all week, Frank Reich, he's not going to be rattled by Belichick. That's not who he is. And maybe not as much as like McDermott was last week, but
no, he won't be as much as McDermott was. But
2 weeks ago.
But yeah, I mean, come on. No.
But I think he'll panic himself into doing some things, and if they do stack the box,
And
I think you're
1,000%
right.
On offense, Chris, when we got the ball, though, would you give our running game the advantage, or that?
Yes,
you would. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. The passing game, though.
Okay.
This team, they have 29 takeaways, Mark.
They're good against the pass, Chris.
Yeah, they lead the league in takeaways with 29, 14 fumbles, and the rest are interceptions. So they have 15 interceptions. They're 12th in the league total defense. They allow an average of 230 yards passing a game. So they're right in the middle, basically a little better than the middle. Yeah. But the secondary is good. The secondary is pretty good, and they take the ball away. So, maybe what you're talking about is right. Will you see Aguilar this week again opening up things for the underneath pass? Mark, you made a great point last week about that 2 weeks ago, where Mark talked about we haven't seen anything from Aguilar, but no, we have seen what goes on underlining, where he's taking guys downfield.
And Chris, I saw that, and I only saw that live because I was there, so you got to see the whole field. You could watch it. It was almost like you were watching film, right?
Right.
Where when you watch it on TV, you can't see what he's doing. You just know he's not in the play, right? But being there live, I got to see that.
Yeah. So again, I give the edge to the Colts in passing the ball, only because I just haven't seen enough. Yeah, look, Mac. Will you agree with me? Mac Jones, he hasn't lost the game for us this year.
No, he has not.
I feel like his last real bad game, if you could say a bad game, was probably New Orleans.
Yeah, it was. New Orleans was his last bad game. And if you want to say technically, Chris, he did make a mistake against Dallas. The pick six, right?
Yeah, the pick six hurt him. Yeah,
right. The pick six did hurt him. So the pick six against Dallas and the New Orleans game are probably the last two times he's probably hurt you. But other than that, Chris, you're right. He's on a streak. He didn't hurt you in the Tampa game.
No, I mean, and as a matter of fact, I think the coaches hurt you by not giving him more trust on that 4th and 3 when it was raining out. And I get it. I mean, Folk he's been as clutch and money as you can get this season. But on that 4th and 3, I would like to see him and I think if it were now, I think he puts the ball in Mac Jones' hands.
Yeah, I think he does too, Chris. That's a great point. I think he does too. If it's now, I think he puts the ball in Mac Jones' hands and say, hey, make a play. Right. So
again, I think offensively, I do. I think you're going to see more open. I think the best thing that came out of that Buffalo game, to me, obviously the win, but one of the better things that came out of that game was now the league, Reich, Colts have to look at this and say, okay, they're capable. What are we prepared? What are we really stopping? Who do we need to stop in this game? I mean, it's got to be the running game. It's got to be Stevenson, and now they're looking at Harris is out. But you got to stop. It's Belichick and company and McDaniels. That's who you have to stop, because trying to get into the mind and figure out after running the ball 46 times. Well, now what? Now what are we going to see? Yeah. We stack the box. They hit guys in bubble screens.
Chris, let me ask you a question too. On top of that, so how long now is this thing with Harris? You think it's going to be one of those things that's going to linger for the rest of the year, or does he get healthy? Yeah, right?
Oh, I hate hamstring and groin injuries, things like that. I remember talking to Chris White, who's the head trainer at Brophy, at the the school, the high school. We were talking about that, and I asked him. I said, in this day and age, in the NFL or in sports, how can anybody pull a hamstring?
And what did
Like,
he
well,
say?
how is that possible with the training and the? He had an interesting answer, and he may come on the show too. We may get him on to talk about some of this. But he said because everybody, when they're working out, most guys, most athletes focus on the front part of the leg. They focus on the quad. They focus on that kind of stuff.
Okay.
That's developing their quad and their front muscles and their calf muscles and things like that. And they don't do as much on the back with the hamstring.
All right, that makes sense, Chris. So that makes sense. That does.
And so what happens is
you would think, Chris, if freaking NFL players. Yeah,
I would think so, but you see these hamstring injuries pop up here and there. Now, again, weather probably was a factor in that.
The cold weather.
That
He's
did
probably
that.
tight in the cold, right?
But knowing that, I mean, they got to, So I mean, I think it may end up being one of those deals where it's just a lingering. So if they can win without him, that's why these next 2 games are important. Because if they can win without him, then maybe you can hold them out, rest them up, get that hamstring 100%
get him ready for
right.
a playoff drive, right?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, because if you win these next 2 games, you win today, and you win against Buffalo, you're in the drive. Well, you're going to win the division at that point. But you're in the driver's seat.
If you win the next 2 weeks, Chris, you're division. You're probably they probably will have to call you. You're probably division winners. But
you'll win the division next week. Yeah.
But you know what we're after.
The conference. And
that game Thursday. I'm not even going to get into Thursday, Chris. We should have brought it up during Weekly Rewind. We're not going to.
No, I mean you can say it now. That's
Chris,
okay.
Oh my God, that was one of the worst coaching nights I've seen.
These analytics.
I've never seen a performance like that, Chris.
Mark, just because the damn sheet tells you this isn't basketball or baseball where you're dealing with 5 guys on the court, you can use analytics. This is 53 guys. This is 11 guys on 11 guys. This is not an analytical.
Chris, how bad
call.
was that? I don't know what he did.
Analytics. The sheet kept telling him go for it, and he kept doing it. What you need as a coach is to get a feel for what's happening in that game. You're not getting it. You whatever they're doing, they're stopping it from happening. And I'm not saying they weren't good play calls. And they were open. They were there.
Hey,
and the
don't get me wrong. There was a couple of plays there. It was a couple of, they probably should have. Guy dropped the ball, this and that. Don't get me wrong. But, Chris, you kick the field goals, you win the game. It doesn't even go to overtime.
When you're on the 30-yard line and they went for it on that 4th down, that's probably the only one I agree with, just because it's a little bit longer of a field goal. But when you're on the 1, you're on the 4, you're on the 5, right before the half, Mark, even one of those field goals, you win the game.
Yeah. And Chris, and the reason I bring that up too is because, okay, so you're going for on a 4th down, and you keep giving the ball to Mahomes.
Yeah.
So now, what do you think is going to happen if you keep giving this guy chances? So I think that leads you into our defense.
Well,
right?
but Mark, that jackass in his post game who said, that's how we're going to play here. That's how we're going to do it. Oh, I see. So you're just going to follow the analytics. And Mark, you know what? I feel like these analytics are a shield for these coaches to not have to worry about game management. See, they don't have to worry about game management if they're just following what the computer spit out. They don't have to be good at it.
Well, Chris, guess what?
I'm better than that.
Well,
than
Chris,
that crap.
Guess what? And we brought this up a little bit during baseball season. The goddamn analytics is what got Cora in trouble. In trouble, though, against Houston because he kept pitching to that kid Alvarez because the analytics said, oh, it's a good matchup. But the kid's like 10 for 12 with 4 home runs and 20 RBIs. But the analytics say it's a good matchup, that pitcher against Alvarez. So you keep pitching to Alvarez? Are you kidding me? He just what are you, nuts? Why would you pitch to that kid?
If I were a player in that Chargers locker room, he would have heard me, man, in that locker room after the fact. But again, so now we're in that position where, and Kansas City's got a couple of road games. Cincinnati, they got to go to Denver.
Games, but Chris, so bringing that up though, so how does our defense hold up tonight?
Look, they're going to run the ball. They're going to want to run the ball. I mean, they lead the NFL. Taylor's he's an MVP candidate right now. He's got 1,300 yards, 5.5 yards a carry. He's number one in like everything. And so,
Chris,
he's
can
got
I edge hold up?
16 touchdowns.
Listen, I think Gottschall and Bondmore will be all right, but can I edge hold up against him?
It's the linebackers, Mark. The linebackers need to be better. Hightower, you've chronicled, you've pointed this out. Oh my God, Hightower's the age is catching up with him. He's just he's now 2 steps behind. Yeah. And Van Noy is spotty. Van Noy is going to have to be better on the edge. So when I look at and you know even
because Chris, this kid Taylor will
even
gash you.
Judon.
Chris, he'll gash you if they're not better on the edge. We're gonna be dead tonight.
What kills you with this guy is the bounce.
Yeah.
You know, he starts in that 2-hole, 4-hole,
Then he bounces, right?
1-hole, 3-hole, like in between the center guard in that range. He
Then
gets
he
to that,
bounces.
and then he bounces it to the outside, and off he goes. So your seal has got to be good. You've got to seal those edges.
That's our weakness, Chris.
That's the thing that irritates me the most when I see it. When guys don't set the edge.
I'm going to give Indy Chris the advantage running the ball against.
Yeah, I do too. I mean,
and not because
that's not a big stretch. That's not a big take.
It's not a stretch. I'm just saying, Chris, not the middle of our line because of what you said. Because his style is he'll bounce, and I just don't think Chris. Listen, you are who you are, and I think after at week 13, 14, wherever we're in, you sealing the edge is not your strength. It's not going to all of a sudden become your strength tonight unless you do something maybe different. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I would give the advantage to them running the football tonight, Chris.
So you may see some design run blitzes tonight.
Okay.
You know, but with some contain going on, and maybe tonight's the night that they try to get into some more man coverage. But I agree with you, Mark. The linebackers, Bentley, Hightower, Van Noy, they have to play better tonight. It's the key. The key to this win tonight on defense is going to be in that group. It's going to be with that group.
What about our secondary? Jonathan Jones, Chris, might be coming back tonight.
Well, listen, and I don't know how
there
good
was rumor
he'll be.
I don't know, but there was rumor he may be active tonight.
Well, see,
he'll help.
Because that's what the Colts are going to do. The Colts are going to try to. I mean, the Patriots are going to say to them, "Hey, look, we're not going to let you beat us run." That's what Belichick does. He always takes the thing you do best away. He'll say to those guys, he'll say, "Guys, for us to win this game tonight, we can't let Taylor go off. We got to put the ball in Wentz's hands." And he'll make some mistakes. Now, they're predominantly a zone team, New England, right?
Yep.
They've been playing zone, which is hard. It's a tougher thing to do. It's a tougher concept. Athletically, it's harder to play man. But schematically, it's zone. And that's what they've been in pretty much all season long. And I think it's because you don't have Gilmore, you don't have Jones. You didn't have Jones. Okay, so I think the thought process at the beginning was we're going to have to play in zone. So I still think we'll see some of that. But if Jonathan Jones is on the field tonight and he's healthy, you may start seeing them trickle in some man coverage because J.C. Jackson certainly can do it.
Absolutely.
So you may start to see some design run blitzes.
With that, Chris, being said, would you give us the advantage over Wentz when Wentz is throwing the ball?
Yeah, I do. Oh, absolutely. I do. And in a pass rush, Mark Godchow and Barmore, Barmore and Judon are the reason why this team is now a top 5 defense. Those two guys, the insertion of those two guys is what makes them a top, because the pressure is allowing the secondary to play better too.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that, Chris. Yeah.
And so
I wasn't a fan of the Barmore draft pick, but he's turned out to be a phenomenal player, Chris. Phenomenal pick. That was a great pick. So again,
I think we have enough in the secondary, even if Jones doesn't play. I mean, look, they got their wide receivers are not dynamic. I mean, you got T.Y. Hilton, who once he came back, once he came back, he got better. But the Pittman, Pascal, they got the Doyle. They got some guys, but nothing. I give it to the Patriots. I think the secondary is going to play better.
I think the Patriots will shut Wentz down. I think Wentz will give us a couple of picks tonight. Put it that way. I predict at least 2 picks for Wentz tonight.
And we'll see how it happens with the Harris injury. So, Mark, listen, let's get our predictions then, because we're getting close to that time. It's kickoffs in about 20, 30 minutes. So, what do you think is going to happen? Well, give us a prediction. Don't tell me 56 again.
33-23 Patriots.
So you got them scoring over 30 now. You really do think Mac Jones is going to go off?
I really do. Chris, I've been telling you that all week. 33-23 Patriots.
I got 27-24. And I think it's going to be tight, and I think Folt's going to have to win this game in the end, which, by the way, I always give the special teams to New England. They're going to get that edge in this game. So I think 27-23. Joe, make sure you mark them down, and I hope Mark is right. I really hope Mark is right, because we won't be sweating it.
Yeah.
So that was presented by the Pats Nation, the only Patriots post-game show worth watching, 30 minutes following most Patriots games. Not today. This is the pregame show. So, Mark, here we go. Some people to thank tonight as we get closer to kickoff time. I want to thank the good people over at Special Sauce Podcast, Startup Finance, and Drive Yourself to Success, specialsaucepodcast.com. I want to thank Jag Media Productions, good people over at Studio 42 Designs for all your graphic design needs, studio42designs.com. Also want to thank Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm, corsolawgroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. So some programming, Joe, we got to talk about. Mark, we're off for the holidays. Joe's giving us a break. He's given us Christmas.
He's fine. He's going to give us a break, Chris.
Yeah, and I can hear Tommy in the background playing his music over there.
Joe, how is he not getting rid of Tommy yet, Joe?
I'm surprised. There's definitely a general in that household.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Joe. Absolutely, Joe.
So we're off on the 25th and the 1st for Christmas and New Year's. We will be back on January 8th, 2022. Mark, how long do you think it's going to take for you to start writing 22 instead of 21?
Probably March.
Probably a long time. It takes me till about April, May. In fact, I'm just starting to write 21. So we'll be back on January 8th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll have all our favorites. We'll have Heated Hotline, Weekly Rewind, some B's and C's, of course, Catone's comments, and we'll be previewing that final regular season games when the Pats travel to the Dolphins on the 9th of January at 1 p.m. Eastern. And look, Joe, what's their homework assignment? What are our loyal fans' homework assignment for the break? Get online.
Get online. Find us.
Right. Find us. Get on YouTube. Type us in. Subscribe. Give us thumbs up. Catch up. Watch all our shows. Yeah. Listen to us. Listen to us while you're taking down the Christmas decorations, all irritated. Put us on iTunes, the iHeartRadio app. And,
Chris, could you imagine I may have a couple of stories on that.
I have a feeling, Joe, we're going to have to use the entire show for Catone's comments on the 8th when we come back. But yeah, listen, do your homework, listen to the shows, get ready because NFL playoffs are coming and we expect you to be prepared. So make sure you do that. But listen, fear not, because the Pats Nation will be back much sooner on the day after Christmas, right, Mark? We'll be live on YouTube, Podbean, for the Pats Nation, the only Patriots postgame show worth watching. We will be following that Patriots-Bills game, which is a 1 p.m.
That's a big
huge game, Mark.
Huge game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff. They didn't flex it, so it will still.
I'm glad they kept it at 1 p.m., Chris.
I like the 1 o'clock games. I hate the night games. I don't like the night games. Because we're freaking out all day long.
And the night games, Chris, we can't do our typical post game. The night games are tough.
No, because Mark, he'd be falling asleep. You can't do that.
No.
He's out in the stores returning things at midnight. That's
can't
what he's
do that
doing.
to the fans. They've been, good followers in finding Catone's comments and.
That's right. Well, hey, listen, we're always going to give you a post game or pre-game. One of the two, you will get
energy. Yes,
that's right. Yeah. That's right. So make sure Mark needs time to return all the gifts.
Joe, I didn't have any energy today, Joe.
Nothing. We're gonna have to talk about it.
So make sure you come back with us. But we will be on the 26th for Pats Nation for all your post game coverage, and that includes MAC-MANIA, our coaches corner, and our Sunday Stiff. So you're not going to want to miss any of that. And listen, as we get to the holiday season. Oh, hey, Mark, what was your favorite toy that you got from? Well, first of all, have you guys been good this year? I mean, are you confident you'll get the things
you're asking me if I?
Oh, you're screaming and yelling and pushing ladies down in the store.
I had the lady on the floor with paddles. You're asking me if I've been good.
Of course, because you're in the store, in the car, you're yelling at everybody, you're pushing people down in the store to get to the Cabbage Patch Kids. I'm just wondering, is Santa going to pass you by this year? What was your favorite? What was your favorite Santa gift growing up?
My favorite Santa gift was, Joe, I had a driving test. They gave me a driving test when I was 7. Now, my favorite gift, Chris, of course, everybody, right? When we were kids, we would wait and we loved G.I. Joe, right? We loved G.I. Joe. Yeah. But my favorite gift, believe it or not, Chris, was when I was a kid, was Atari. Remember Atari?
That's a good one.
My parents wouldn't give me that.
Oh, I loved Atari. We used to play with a little joystick.
Yeah,
The
Pong
Atari
and
was
Asteroids.
that Asteroids, yeah,
Centipede.
Space Invaders.
Space Invaders. Oh, that was a great
I
game.
played Space Invaders all day, right? But that was one of my favorites as a kid. Chris was Atari.
I didn't get Atari.
Of course, the
I didn't get those.
graphics now compared to what our kids are using, Chris,
Oh my
the
God.
graphics was so bad. Oh my God!
I have an Xbox thing, an old one that has all the old video games. I showed my kids, and they're looking at me like, "Yeah, that's really cool, Dad. I understand why you're a moron."
Chris, you know what else was one of my favorites, and then I'll let you guys talk. Remember the little Mattel games, the football game? They were little lines.
They were like this big.
They were like this big, and they were just little lights, and you'd have to try to score a touchdown with the little lights.
Yep. Yeah, I used to bring those to school and play it under the desk so the teacher didn't see me on the mute mode because you didn't have to have the sound on. That's why we're morons. That's why we're dumb, because don't do that at school. Make sure you pay attention. So, Joe, what was yours? What was your favorite gift from Santa?
Oh man, I'm gonna come on just to let everybody know.
Hi, Joe. There he is. Merry Christmas.
Oh, he's got the Santa hat on. Look at him. He's so prepared, Chris.
There you go. You know, I thought he was gonna have the whole suit.
This one's for the fans because this is what
Nobody's
I woke
walking
up
out
to.
on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together.
All in this together.
Full-blown 4-alarm holiday emergency.
Uh,
We're gonna press on, and we're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby.
Woo! That was in my.
You didn't play that, did you? Did you just play that?
Of course, I played it.
You played the whole thing, though.
No. But we're playing. But the happiest
All right.
time was waking up and the tree was basically blacked out because the box that was in front of it was the G.I. Joe. Speaking of which, Mark, G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, which I think they made about 1,000 of in at Hasbro, which is here in New England, in Rhode Island. And, you know, funny enough, my mother just met one of the guys who actually used to design all the guys and toys and stuff. So a
guy up the street who lived up the street from me, worked for Hasbro, used to give us all the G.I. Joe guys. Then
Joe,
I'd sell
that's
them.
good. Joe,
I'd
that's
sell them
gotta
to the
be
kids in the
that's
class.
gotta be worth
Enormous.
some money, that aircraft carrier.
I think so. The thing was like 8 feet long.
Oh, yeah.
You know, of course, I had my dad put it
You
together.
have it. You still have it, don't you?
I still have it. Yeah, man. You can't get rid of that thing.
Listen, for those of you who don't know, Joe and I are related. Okay, so I went to he used to get all the cool toys. I used to go. I'd go over there and play. I remember that aircraft carrier. In fact, you had the plane too that would Sky Striker, right? Isn't that the name? And he would land on the thing. The thing was this big. That's how big the aircraft carrier was, right?
It's huge.
So anyway,
8 feet. We nailed it to like a piece of plywood just to kind of keep it in place. You know.
And then for those of you that don't know, Joe's brother would crash the plane.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh.
would crash. But you know something. The guy up the street, I told you, he'd give us the action figures, the G.I. Joe, and then I'd go to school and I'd sell them. But
what is wrong with you?
This guy.
Something wrong with you.
So, and real quick, mine was I'll go further back than that, guys. One Christmas I got up. I don't know if anybody remembers the cartoon that was Guy King, it was called. It was called Guy King. It was one of those kind of Japanese, sort of Star Blazers and Voltron and all these.
Yes. Yeah.
And they had this the robot from it. And it was probably like, I don't know, maybe like 2 feet high. Okay.
Joe is like Tommy.
Yeah, it's Tommy. And it used to shoot out one of the arms. Like it'd shoot right out. I got that because when we were kids, you got like two gifts. I mean, you know, it wasn't like now, everything. So I got that, and that was great. I'll never forget that. I mean, that was a real fun day. And then Joe came over and played with all the stuff. So good memories, good times. And so guys, anything you want to say to the good people out there in this nice holiday season?
I do want to say happy holidays, Chris, to all our viewers, and they've been really good. They've been finding us on Podbean and YouTube and all these different places. It's not easy to find, as I know, because Chris is texting us. I can't get on this. I can't go on. I mean, Chris is like a disaster. But I do want to thank our viewers for really making this an enjoyable experience to do this every week.
Yeah, it's been really cool. It's been nice to see that, to see people following and hear actually some people that you wouldn't expect, or at least from my perspective, a lot of people who have followed us and listened to us religiously every week and knowing that, like, I didn't really expect that person to be on it. We just want to thank those people from the bottom of our hearts, because it's it's not a hard work, but it is work to kind of get this out to people and get people to start following and have a good time with Corso&Catone.
So, and I of course want to thank you guys and all the people behind the scenes for Corso&Catone and the Pats Nation. And look, my wish this year is, look, get out there, get we say favorite charity, whatever it is, support it. Children's hospitals. There's one in every town, every city. Phoenix Children's Hospital, Boston, Hasbro in Rhode Island. Any city you're in, they're going to have one. St. Jude, Shriners, Covenant House. There's thousands and thousands of kids out there right now that don't have a place to go, are homeless. Santa will always find them, of course, but they need your help. They need our help. So my wish is, do that. Give as much as you can, as little as you can. It doesn't make a difference, because it will help the life of a child somewhere, we in this country. And I think that's what we need to do. So listen, from all of us to all of you out there, make sure you have a great holiday. Stay safe. Have a great rest of your year and a good 2022. Let's hope for better things in 22 than 21. And let's all just, get along, be positive, safe, healthy, happy holiday to all of you. So for Mark Catone, Joe Guarnieri, I'm Chris Corso. Next up, Patriots Colts kickoff coming up. Happy holidays, everybody.